Alright, so, as you know, Sonic Forces recently got new footage of classic Sonic gameplay during a Nintendo Direct. Myself, along with many other fans, were not very happy seeing, yet again, Green Hill Zone being in a modern Sonic game. Now, before you get mad and think this is me blindly hating, I have my reasons for my mentality against the iconic stage making its constant appearances in these latter modern titles. Now, if you're unfamiliar with myself and my channel, I love the Sonic series. I've been with this series since literally the Genesis era. My first ever Sonic games were Sonic 3 and Sonic 1 in that order. I'd even say Sonic 1 and Green Hill's aesthetic was what got me into Sonic that early on, when I was actually into the SNES Mario games even before that. So I do love the older Sonic stuff as much as I love the adventure stuff. But there was always something that differentiated Sonic from Mario for me, and that was Sonic's ability to constantly keep changing and going forward, rather than throwing its heyday in our faces like Mario did. Green Hill has been present in 5 different titles, spanning over this decade alone, and yes, Splash Hill Zone and Windy Hill Zone do count. But do you not see where and why this trend started? It started right after Sonic Unleashed fell, and even the storybook games that came after. Granted, Unleashed's reviews were ridiculously biased. These said reviews forced Sonic away from what was his most original times and into this nostalgia era of half-assed games in only, I'd say, a year or two. These modern games of this decade have been keen on 2D and in general only doing what Sega knows will make critics happy and not the fans. What a lot of us like to call playing it safe. Apparently high scores from critics are more important than giving your fans what they want from modern Sonic. I understand Sega wants Sonic to get his rep back, but 2 questions. Who released these unfinished games that got the bad scores? And who are the ones who labeled Sonic as a bad series? Neither of these answers are the fans, as they supported Sonic through his darkest times. Green Hill and its clones only stand now as Sega's attempt to please the critics for scores, and not please the fans. Classic fans and critics also get to have their nostalgic fix with Sonic Mania. And what zone leads off the game so far? Yep, Green Hill Zone. Which is honestly fine for Mania, I'm just pointing that out. But when modern fans get their game too and there's Green Hill Zone and classic Sonic there too, it's kind of a problem.
Well, why is this a problem?
You ask. Well, the best way that I can put it is Sega doesn't know what to do with classic Sonic going forward. They don't know what Sonic should be anymore. Sonic has had some pretty drastic direction changes in only a short time, whether it's personality and voicing, tone and story, gameplay, or even a failed attempt of an entirely new brand. It's pretty damn sad to retrospect. So, this company that's unsure of where to take Sonic, they just continue to toss in Green Hill Zones and clones with no good reason. You guys can damage control if you want and say,
it's there for story-related reasons.
But think about it. If it's to reintroduce classic like a lot of you say, you can use literally any other iconic Sonic stage from the classics and do the same exact thing. Green Hill returning again is not necessary to do exactly what it did in Generations only a few years ago. If it's plot related, you could have a new stage or something like Emerald Hill to reintroduce classic again. Sega is fully aware that we're sick of Green Hill Zone, and yet they still put it in despite that, just to make critics happy. Just think about this shit, guys. Now, one last thing I want to show is this quick clip. Now, you've seen that critic struggling with that simple loop, right? A lot of you were asking, why is there a boost pad in front of a loop-de-loop in this classic clip for Forces? Now, you tell me who Sega's looking out for. Us or the critics?
I can't do this anymore. I can't do this anymore. I can't do this anymore.